What is happening at J Gaming Dude here, and I'm going to be talking about the PlayStation Store, more specifically with Sony, because as this article by Tom Ivan at VGC says, Sony is going to be facing a $5 billion class action lawsuit over not just the PlayStation Store prices, but the idea around the fact that they have no competition in the space, or rather in this space of gaming, because obviously, like, you know, each console has their own shop, whether it be the Xbox marketplace, whatever it's called now on the Xbox, and whether it be the PlayStation Store here or the Nintendo eShop on Nintendo consoles. Each place has its own series of stores, has their own singular store in which they sell products and things like that. Now, ideally, you would think that, you know, providing games digitally would make things cheaper than actually selling like a disc in a store that needs to be kept up. It's just a thought, but yeah, like that was kind of like part of the selling point with going into a more digital future, and whether or not the whole idea of you don't need to clutter up spaces, have a lot of clutter in like your home with nothing but covers, cases of games and things like that. So ultimately that didn't happen, and in fact games got more expensive as time has gone on. What was usually 60 USD has now gone up to $70 for most new releases, and if not more expensive for, of course, you know, your silver editions, your gold editions, your platinum editions, your uber mega ultra I am going to show you a zombie skull edition, whatever that may be. I'm just really sort of throwing out names there. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if a game actually did have that sort of version name or anything along those lines. So originally this class action lawsuit was going to be thrown out, or at least Sony did try to throw it out. Unfortunately for them, it did actually pass through the beginning, and with the reasoning around Steam not giving refunds and stuff like that, that only started happening because of a lawsuit in Australia. So what happened in Australia regarding Steam not giving refunds, and now what they do is, as long as you haven't played for more than 2 hours, or have owned the game for more than, like, I think a certain number of weeks, or both of those put together, you can still refund games to your liking. So something that happened in a single country is now affecting the rest of the world, and how that works. So with that as a possible example, it's worth looking at what's going to possibly happen with Sony and the PlayStation Store here. Will that change things? How will it change things? How will things work after that? I wouldn't be able to tell you, because I'm no psychic, nor am I any sort of engineer who could possibly come up with any sort of possible solution to be like, okay, if, like, you know, would they allow third-party marketplaces on the PlayStation consoles? Would that be done through a web browser, for example? And you might be like, there's no web browser on a PS5. But the thing is that there is one, but it's just hidden away and not openly accessible like it used to be on the PS3 or the PS4 or the PSP or the PS Vita. But there is one on there. Like, if you've ever played a game from Hoyoverse, whether it be Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, you know, they do actually have a bunch of links that then lead out into a web browser to then show you stuff like when they're trying to get information, for example, through a survey, to be like, hey, how did you like the new update? You know, tell us all about whether or not you liked it, or if you didn't like it, what about it you didn't like. So there is a web browser on there, so that could very well be a thing that can happen. So it's interesting to know that this is happening. And then obviously the cadence in the past regarding Steam and the change of the law challenging what Steam does in Australia and then reflecting that worldwide. It's hard to see whether or not whether Sony is going to reciprocate that. And also the EU is one of Sony's biggest one of the biggest, like, markets that they have. So it will be fascinating to see how things go. So it's really just a matter of time to see whether or not things are going to change as well. So with all that said, I mean, put them in the comments below. What you think is going to happen? Whether anything is even going to happen? What are your thoughts on this? Whether or not you think it's going to also cause a ripple effect towards, say, the eShop with Nintendo, or with Xbox's, whatever the store is called. I really don't know off the top of my head. But it does seem like a fascinating thing given what happened to Steam. And also, like, with the PC marketplace, in general, while Steam does have a pretty heavy grip on things, you still do have stuff like Epic Games Store that can exist. You used to have Origin as well that could have also existed. And whatever the, whatever Uplay is now supposed to apparently be called, that I just can't remember off the top of my head. That was another one. But yeah, it's just interesting to think about. I'm just throwing out some possibilities there. I mean, of course, if you've got your own ideas on things that I haven't thought about or mentioned, I mean, all the more conversation in the comments I would heavily encourage, of course. But with all that said and done, please like the video if you liked it. I do upload every day, so please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date. I am aiming for 100 subs by the end of the year. You've got that bell, you can ring it. And I am also wanting my videos to go out to more people. So with all that said and done, I do upload every day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.